That's way too bright. I like a fucking movie villain. One sec.
Am I bright enough? Because
Yeah,
I
you're
don't want to show my flaws, but at the same time, I don't want to be too dark.
I don't see no flaws, son.
Like this. Oh, got a shiny forehead now. There we go.
It's all recorded. I'm having that there.
Sponsored by Post Malone.
Yeah, I'll have to drink my beer like this, and then replace it with like any drink brand.
Yeah, just wrap a piece of green card around it, and then find some green screen that's perfect.
Yeah, that's a plan. That.
Anyway, hello George. How you doing?
How are you doing? You all right?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Unfortunately, Reese can't be with us today. He's got stuff going on, so he's just gonna have to make up with our make do with our ugly mugs for however long.
Yeah, for a while.
We're all about impromptu here, and what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for?
Fucking improv.
So we thought, why not? Because me and you have a quite a good history, like, you know, a bit of a history and past and stuff. Why don't we just take advantage and do a podcast on us, basically, how we know each other and stuff like that.
Yeah. So basically, I joined up to Grindr when I was about 15.
Well, no. Do you want to? What's your first memory of me? Properly.
See, I'm happy you said properly, because my first memory of you would have been in school, walking around, like, seeing you and stuff like that. But my first, like, proper, like, conversational memory is just walking in my uncle's butcher's and seeing you there, knocking about.
Yeah.
Chilling. Because I already sort of, like, knew of you.
Yeah.
So, like, the conversation was kind of like, it wasn't one of those where you're just fucking looking at each other through the corner of your eye. Like, I was looking at you, it was still, like, pretty, like, sound, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was really natural sort of conversation. But yeah, I just remember that first conversation being like, oh yeah, if you ever want to, like, go out, well, let me know.
Yeah.
And me being like fucking 17 or whatever.
Yeah. I think I'd have to agree in terms of my first memory of, like, knowing you or seeing you or knowing about you was in school, because I'm a year above you, aren't I? Is it 1 year above?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like knocking around. I actually can't remember. I think I think the link between me and knowing a few people in your year was there's a couple of lads that we played football with. I played in a team with that had siblings or cousins in your year.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I knew. But then my first proper memory that just comes to mind was, well, we know each other because of another mate of mine, Malcolm, don't we, who happens to be your cousin.
Yeah.
Now, when I went to college, and they ask you to put names of people that are in your course that you know, just so that you at least have one person you know in your class.
Yeah.
Now, I did that, and then I got in a class with nobody I knew, basically. I think apart from one person from school. In fact, no, I knew two lads, Reese and Ryan. Basically, I used to play football either against them or with them. And just got chatting to them because it's weird for us all in there. There's that lad's like, oh, I don't want to seem uncool and that, but then everyone's in the same boat of panic of like, oh shit, I need someone to talk to.
I need a fucking mate.
Yeah, exactly. So, but then on the first day of college, I did an engineering course and I met Malcolm and we got talking because he was wearing a Batman t-shirt, and being the geek I was, you know, I jumped onto that for the conversational. Anyway, long story short, we became really good mates. And then he told me about this butcher's job that he had, which again is your uncle, who needed like a Saturday lad for over Christmas time. And I was like, right, I'm in college now. I need a part-time job that I can earn a bit of money. Yeah. Anyway, long story short, got the job, started working there. And then that's when I sort of came into connection with you. And then I was invited to your 18th, weren't I, in that January? Yeah. And that was the first proper time, I think. We went out after it, didn't we? First time,
I don't remember anything past about 9 o'clock.
We're
getting on stage at my 18th. Someone videoed me while Pretty Green Eyes was playing, and absolutely rat-arsed. I was absolutely going for it.
Yeah. See, that's the fun. Unless it's because you've watched a video and that's why you remember it. You're saying that you don't remember anything, but the one thing you do is the exact song that was playing. Speaks volumes about George's personality, his affection for music.
The only thing I can link it back. Every good memory's got like a song I can link it back to.
Mm.
Not that that's a good memory. I don't fucking.
Yeah, there's not one you're fond of.
Nah, it's one of them, innit?
Was it a few Fortnite dances you were throwing out?
I did them before Fortnite, lad. I invented the floss.
Yeah, but no, that
backpack kids are plagiarists.
Excuse me. That was my first sort of proper memory, and it's mad looking back at pictures of it, mate, because we looked young, and I'm not saying we look old now, but oh my god, we looked young.
When I was 18, I looked about 5.
Yeah.
And then literally that year, I got a beard, and it was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. No, but mate, even pictures, you know, that we've been showing each other recently in terms of, which one do we use for the profile picture on the Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
Yeah.
Some of them, like even you from like a year ago, mate, honestly.
Yeah, it's mad. Like literally, I did not look like I do now. Maybe because I've shaved my head.
Yeah. But honestly, this is a lockdown beard. The job I've got means that I either have to wear a beard net or I can't have facial hair at all. So I thought, well, I'm off. I'll just see how fast, because I know it can grow back quick. So I thought, you know what, I'll just see how long I can get away with it.
It's full, you know. Like it's nice.
Looking at it, it can't make its mind up whether it wants to be blonde or like dark ginger. So I don't know.
Our Robbie would be fuming.
Why is that? Can he not grow one?
Because when he does that, he's got like 3 patches of just bald. Yeah.
Well, I get it from me dad. I'm naturally.
I know he watches as well.
Like
so
a gorilla. Yeah,
Rob.
One of the top fans. Appreciate it, Rob. But
big up.
Yeah, where were we? Me talk about fucking beards and that.
My 18th young pictures.
Yeah, that was it. So we've grown.
There's a picture of me, you, Malcolm, and my cousin Jack, and we're all like linking arms. And the only one that still looks the same. Literally, the only one that still looks the same is Jack, because he's looked 7 since he was 6.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then other than that, it's mad, isn't it? How we sort of were in the same vicinity, but weren't mates because of whatever. And then through Malcolm, became really good mates. I mean, to the point where I thought, fucking, I want to do a podcast with you. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've come that far, basically.
We've come to this.
It's mad. It is.
It's good stuff, though. It's mad how, like, throughout the whole thing, we sort of, like, overlapped and that sort of thing. And, like, there was different overlapping things. Obviously, you meeting Malcolm, working at, like, the butchers, obviously, we went to the same school, that sort of thing. There's just a lot of overlap, and it's boss to look at now from, like looking back at.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I think it really, when do you have like a memory of when it sort of, I don't know whether the correct word to use is when like the friendship blossomed, because we knew each other and it was like, oh yeah, George's sound or Alex's sound, but then it went from that to sort of like,
do you want to go out or do you want to do this? Or do you want to play
but then even beyond that, it's now like if George has got a problem, but I've got I'm not ashamed to say it. Like George has helped me through some mad times because I consider him one of my best mates. And my point being is we've gone from like being in the same vicinity and not even really, knowing each other to, being really quite close. So
and also like, I think what kind of like solidified the memory, like the whole sort of thing is like from the start was the first time like we kind of went out, and like I think Malcolm couldn't join us.
Yeah.
And it was like that thing of I didn't have to think, oh shit, if Malcolm's not there, like it's conversation's going to be a bit shit. I knew like it was just going to flow instantly. So like when we met, it was sound, and that I think that was like testament to it. I think we literally went up like East Park, played footy or something.
Ah, right, yeah.
I remember like me, you, Steve, and Sophie going up Heath Park, and like literally at like 11 o'clock at night, and we were just like lying down in Heath Park.
Mad. It makes it sound dead sad, doesn't it? But yeah, I get what you mean.
But it's mad looking back at that, because at that time there was actually nothing else for us to do.
Yeah.
So like doing that.
Oh yeah, it's a shit place for stuff to do in it. Like.
Yeah.
There's not much going around, like at that time anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah. See, this is what I said prior to this recording. I said, shit, there's so much that we can talk about, and then it could be a case of like, because there's so much, I'll forget about one story, and you'll say something and it'll trigger it and I'll remember it. It just testament to that story.
Like, even like, we've had some like absolutely boss experiences, like just mad shit we've done, and like, I always said, I know I talk about music a lot, but like when I want to see somebody like live, I like the thought of just going somewhere different and not seeing them in like Liverpool or Manchester, because that's where basically we always see people. So like we went Newcastle, see Catfish.
Yeah, where we
and that's the thing. Like London, see like 1975 and stuff like that.
Yeah, both.
See like
was
Catfish.
there both times.
Yeah.
It
was like really good, and then like obviously going Leeds and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
was just some boss memories.
I think it boils down to, I think the one of the main factors of it being such a solid friendship from being out of nowhere almost, basically, is what I'm trying to get to, is the fact that we both seem to meet each other at perfectly the right time, when we were still sort of like, you've got that age, haven't you, where like I don't know, you're still finding out who you are, still sort of,
like, so much uncertainty.
Yeah, because we've both been through it a bit, you know what I mean, in terms of, oh shit, I don't know what to do. Like, for instance, me quitting university, that was a big decision for me. Proper tough time, and then with you not knowing what you wanted to do after college and stuff. I remember I was having a few conversations where you were like, I just don't know what I want to do. That
was it. Like, it was one of those things of like, I feel like we both get each other on a level that was like, it was just so easy to like kind of say anything without having to, like, it's normally when you speak to some people you feel like you have to go, oh, like, sorry for being a burden, or like something like that. But I felt like with me and you, it was always that mutual respect of like / understanding of like,
well, you hear me say all the time, do you? Don't you? Where I say like, oh, I'm sorry to chew your ear off, or I feel like a prick, but I know I don't have to justify it with you. I just I've always had that sort of I don't know, insecurity that I feel like I have to justify it. So, but I get what you mean. It's always been, there's nothing really we feel like can't say.
No, there's nothing off limits. Like, no, definitely, it's really good. And also, you've always been the one to like kind of be a bit like stern with me at times. So like, say if I'm doing something that's like particularly stupid, say if like we're out or something like that, you've always been the one to be like, George, just hang on a sec. Not, do you know what I mean? Like, nothing like patronising or anything like that, but literally just on a respect level of like, George, just, you never tell me not to do anything, but you just say, George, just look at what you're doing. Sort of
I get what you mean.
And it's just boss to have that sort of conscience.
I don't know whether it's a wise thing to say, but I remember the story of being in a certain shithole in the old town where a certain particular person came over to talk to me, and it just wasn't right. And you physically picked me up and carried me away.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Because they wouldn't leave me alone, basically. And me being me was just like,
you give me the old stress eyes, and I literally come up and just pick them up and picked you up, and then we fucked off.
Literally fucking
double
grabbing machine,
fucking albatross round the back.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard. I am a borrower. So
it's that's the good stuff though. Like, that's the good stuff.
Yeah, I remember
the good stuff is kind of hidden in the shit.
Yeah, basically, makes you appreciate the good times a bit more.
Yeah.
I think I remember a particular, I can't remember what it was after, but it was a time where I was on your couch, and I can't remember where it was, but it was the first time I stayed, and it was after something, like it was after an event. We stayed in your living room on the floor. Well, not on the floor. It was like a mixture of like on the couch, on the floor, like people everywhere.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was from, but it's mad because it's like, my point being is it's like, for anyone that doesn't know, George has got a boss family. So like, me being the awkward and shy person I am, and a little bit like self-conscious, like I won't walk around my house with my top off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I fall asleep at George's. I'm on the couch with this blanket around me, boiling my head off. And then his parents just come downstairs like, "You all right? What's going on? Do you want a cup of tea? Do you want your brekkie and stuff?" And I was like, oh my God, I love these humans. Do you know what I mean? Just different. So, yeah. And even, I mean, them coming Leeds, lad, just a great laugh. Do you know what I mean? Like,
so, So a bit of context for everyone. Leeds last year, like, my mum and dad love Post Malone as well. And like
More
my
than
sisters
you.
love it as well. No, not a fucking chance. See my background is there.
Yeah.
They've got the weekend outside, plus one outside. So I had like we went Leeds. Last day of Leeds was 21 Pilots and Post Malone co-headliners. Post Malone finishing off. So I was there with the weekend with Alex and a few other friends. And my mum, dad, and two sisters decided to come as well. So they spent the day in Leeds. I met up with them, had a few drinks with them, and then saw them just before Post Malone. Cried my eyes out watching Post Malone, and then went and saw them after. It was amazing. They loved it as well, and it's just that thing of like they'll come and enjoy the experience, but like, they didn't want make me feel like I had to like be with them and that sort of thing.
Yeah. I was just about to say
chilled
that.
out,
It wasn't like, oh, George's parents are here, now we're not going to see him for a bit. It was, oh my God, George's parents are here, you're right, guys, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Went and watched a couple of acts with them that we all had like a mutual interest with.
Yeah.
And then just got on with your way. Like, I think, was it Billie Eilish that day?
Yeah.
And they were right at the back. And then was it you and Jack just were like, fucking right to the front?
Jack bombed it to where Ocean House.
Yeah. That was the first time I ever heard that song. And I played it on repeat in the car ever since.
Absolute tune.
Bloody lovely song. Certain feeling in it, you know, when you're in a certain mood, it's like, fucking get that in.
Absolute goosebump music. It's good stuff. There's so many memories at Leeds. Like I remember, like even just from last year, like the little things of like before we'd go down to like, the main stages and stuff like that. You fucking drawing sunflowers on my legs and that sort of thing. It's like
barbed wire on your forehead with a biro, and it rubbed off with sweat in about 5 minutes.
Because I was fucking dancing like a knobhead.
Yeah, and then people colouring in me tattoo on my leg with fucking festival paint.
Yeah, that looks sick. That nearly made you get your tattoo coloured in.
Yeah, it did. To be fair, like everyone I've got is black work at the moment. So yeah, that's another thing, another story. So just before we move on, we've both been I've been Leeds twice with you. Yeah. Well, twice and both times with you, should I say?
Yeah.
They've both been ace. I don't know what I preferred, to be honest, the first time or the second time.
First time was like just a mad experience because it was like me and you being exactly how we would be in like Runcorn Old Town out, but then in a mad little different environment. It was boss. Like, it was just class. I
think festivals are just like my favourite like event. Do you know what I mean? Like when people go, don't get me wrong, you're like me, broad in terms of what we listen to in terms of music. Like, I like my acoustics, do you know what I mean, and all that, and I appreciate music like that. But then when like a dirty beat comes on, I enjoy it, and you know what I mean, I feel it.
Silent disco last year.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I've never.
I've never sweat that much in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like I was absolutely piss wet through.
Remember Peachy going missing, lad?
Like he just disappeared. Right, we've got this mate Adam, right, and
shout out Adam if you're listening.
Yeah, big up. And he was absolutely minced, and I remember him in the queue, lad. Some girls walked past, and he'd had like 2 bottles of wine or like those copper. He was fucking minced.
Yeah.
I remember he threw a full can of Copperberg over like the tents, and we heard some fella shout out, and we were literally all like ducked. It was fucking hilarious. But in the queue, he was fucking just like shouting dead loud. Someone slapped him on the back of the head. I think it was Danny slapped him on the back of the head, and he just went, "What was that for?" Yeah. And when you're in that moment, it's the fucking funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
But, like,
because he was minced.
Yeah, he was absolutely fucking off his tree. He was fucked. And we went into the silent disco, and he had his headphones on, and he just fucked off. Like we were dancing. He was next to me 1 minute, and then we carried on dancing. Literally about 2 minutes later, I looked down. I was like, "Where's Peachy?" And we're like, "Shit, where the fuck?" And then literally, it was like half an hour later.
Oh, it was a good amount of time.
He just popped up again, and we were just like,
is it like Percy Jackson, that film where they go in the casino and they lose track of time?
Yeah,
it was honestly, mate, it was like that. Like I don't know how many hours we were in there.
We're kind of shit mates because we went, "Where's Peachy?" "Oh, you? No, I don't know where he went." And then we all just started dancing again.
I think I was more bothered because I went for a wee, waited in the line, and then had time to sort of like get air to my head, and I was like, "I've not seen Peach." Because everyone came in after it, like afterwards. I went outside for a wee because the cubicle's out of the back. And then everyone was like, here. And I was like, oh, yeah, what are you doing here?
I
Come for a
remember
piss as well.
I remember as well in that Silent Disco, Peachy absolutely loves Black Eyed Peas. And like as soon as because there was two channels, there was like red channel and blue channel, with like two different DJs on playing different sides of music, stuff like that. And I was on red, and I switched it to blue, and Black Eyed Peas like started playing, and I went, Peachy, I looked at the headphones, and he went, what? And didn't know how to switch them, so I switched them for him. And as soon as it come on, he went,
yeah.
I got literally dead happy to the point where he was just fucking going for it. It was fun.
I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna say, for context of anyone that, first of all, has never heard of what a silent disco is, but maybe if you've heard of one but never been, it was just this massive tent, and I mean it was dark, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you remember the ceiling, lad? That was pretty grim.
No, I don't think I looked up.
How the ceiling was like wet, like moist because of the condensation of sweat, lad. Oh, it was condensating on the ceiling. Condensing, sorry, should I say. No, anyway, rewind. It was good. It was amazing. But yeah, you just go in, they hand you these headphones, and it's got, well, these ones had blue and red, didn't they? Like two different channels. Yeah. And the amount of times that you just like, you'd switch channels just randomly while all your mates are on the same blue channel, you switch to red and it's a banger and you just go, switch. Yeah. And then everyone's like, oh my God. And then you've got that one mate who's like, nah, I prefer this one, fuck you. Yeah.
There's also that thing of like, say, it's like when Post Malone come on, I was on blue channel, you come on red, and people would have me go, oh, George, fucking red.
Change.
Like, oh shit. And then when I was like, yeah. But like, it's everyone's got like their favourite sort of like persons, like when they were coming on. It was like, fucking get it on, because you know, like when you were trying to find them as soon as you heard it was boss.
Yeah.
But it was class. Like everyone in that, it was boss, because like normally like when you go out, you get like people who like you feel like fucking hell, you're a bit up your own ass, like. Do you know what I mean? But like this was literally just everyone felt in the same boat. Everyone was just like happy to be there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
wanted everyone else to enjoy themselves. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't.
Yeah.
What's
everyone
this
just like. Yeah, like there was no sort of like kickoffs. There was no egos there. It just felt like they'd chilled out, relaxed, and everyone was just trying to have a good time.
Yeah. I think that's why it works so well with the group of mates that we've got, because everyone that we went with, obviously I'm a year older than you, but everyone that for context, one of them is your cousin, isn't he? And he's a year or two older than me, even.
Yeah, he's 23.
Yeah, and then it's all of his mates, but they're also like your mates, and then through Leeds, they're actually, you know, I get along with them really well.
Yeah. And then like after Leeds, Danny, it's always like Danny's birthday time, and he always has like a beer pong tournament as well, and it's like just after Leeds basically. So when, like you come the first year, like we both.
Oh mate, that was so good. I'm so glad you invited me to that. It's just a great bunch of lads, like you say. There's no ego; it's all left outside, just having a laugh. Good music, few games, beer pong challenge. What was that game where we had to like name like a something, and you had to go round the table?
Oh, it was in
Was it Ring of Fire?
It was in Ring of Fire. Yeah, it's the categories one.
Yeah.
Some dickhead said porn stars.
Yeah. Did you lose that round?
No.
I was last. It ended before it came to me. But yeah,
I can't even spell porn stars.
Yeah. What's porn? Yeah. Just start naming fucking
memories of class.
Dickinson's Real Deal. That's the sort of porn I watch.
Yeah.
What you call it? But yeah, mad. Good times.
Yeah, so it's like good shit.
Even like you say about again, I know we can talk about music all day. I know you could, but the going to Newcastle, that was mega, because I think that was the first time I've ever been like away properly with mates, and it was just Newcastle's a great town. It was just sort of like not winging it, but it was jump on a train with two mates. So it's just the three of us, wasn't it? Getting absolutely leathered on the way down there. Find the hotel, which was literally like you could hear them warming up.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a concert for them, was it? We went to watch Catfish in the Bottom. It was
like a festival day.
This is tomorrow.
Like, yeah,
I think it was called.
Festival,
yeah, and it was everything.
Sam Fender.
Yeah, Sam Fender. First time I ever heard him live, and then obviously, I mean, I assume he had a big following then, but this was before, like, you know,
everything pretty much.
Yeah. What's that song?
I think it was just before he released
Saturday Don't Come Soon. That's like my favourite at the moment from him.
I think it was like just before he released Play God
Yeah.
that we saw him,
Yeah.
which was fucking mad because like we didn't know who he was. And I remember also we got a good memory with Sam Fender as well. When we went Leeds, just turned my lamp on by accident. But
It's all right.
there we go. When we went Leeds,
Natural highlight.
Yeah, that's it. It's fucking popping. When we went Leeds first time, it was started pissing down, so we just ran into like the closest tent. Fucking hell. Sick.
Sorry. Yeah, no. Oh, Jesus.
Fucking Vader.
There we go.
Yeah, so like it was like proper pissing down, so we ran into like the closest tent we could, and Sam Fender was playing, and we watched him for like 10-15 minutes. I remember you proper wanted to stay, so we stayed for a little bit because I obviously saw him in Newcastle before that, but didn't really know who he was. But then you said like, oh no, it's the lad we saw in Newcastle. I was like, oh shit. So then we stayed for like 20-30 minutes watching him.
I find it incredible, mate, because I'm one of those, like, I like all types of music, and I could go through my phases of like, oh, listen to, you know, like you've got all these people that you listen to. If you were to ask who do you listen to, but then I go through stages of like, at this moment in time, listening to this person, or only this song for like a week or two or whatever, and then like, you know, I go back. And at the moment, it's Machine Gun Kelly. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Some fucking bangers for that Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, it's the covers he's doing in lockdown and stuff just got me onto it and stuff like that. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's
probably
mad. My point being is that like yeah, exactly, yeah, that was another thing because you loved Youngblood and I liked him and stuff. We watched him at Leeds, and then he brought Machine Gun Kelly out for that song. I think I'm okay. Yeah, and then
I think I'm okay. You got that right, I think.
Oh, I bested you at music. How the fuck's that happened? And then Machine Gun Kelly was in another tent later on, and then Youngblood went from his signing to perform on that, wasn't it? Or was it the other way around?
It was when we were in the fucking queue.
Yeah.
To meet Youngblood because he was doing a signing tent.
Oh mate, there's nothing more depressing than seeing like young 16-year-old girls or even younger come with a parent waiting in line for time to meet this person they're absolutely in love with, and then get told no, you can't.
Yeah, you're too far in the back of the queue.
There's not going to have enough time and stuff, and it's like it's heartbreaking, but at the same time, it's like
I'm not going to my
Jesus Christ. Yeah, exactly. Didn't you get something signed? You were one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, do you want to get me shirt?
Yeah, go on. Give people the proof. There it is. Beautiful.
Well,
but it got to that stage, didn't it, where they said, no, that's it now. Like, not even, beyond you're pretty much not guaranteed to see him.
Yeah.
And then they said it's closed. And then just before he went, everyone rushed to, like, just the gates around, like, the signing bit. And he just sort of stood over the top of the fence and, like, just signed random shit. So it didn't matter where you were in the line. As long as you were sort of, like, close, it was just a game of luck.
Because I was, like, pretty tall and everyone at the front was, like, girls. I literally just fucking grabbed my hand and literally just pushed me shirt.
Yeah.
All the way over him and that. And then he grabbed it, signed it, passed it back to me.
Yeah.
He kissed me shirt as well. That's a fact.
That's mad. Is that why you've got it on a hanger and it's not been washed?
Yes. Yeah. And year one of Leeds, I got Tom Grennan's signature on my bandana.
Oh, I remember that. I'm gutted, you know, that I didn't do that because we've been to when was that? It was at Manchester where we went to a really intimate performance from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was mad. Where he got in the crowd.
Yeah. Oh wait, yeah, that was Manchester.
With I was thinking your cousin.
That was. Yeah.
Mate, who else was it we've seen? Me and you have seen Rudimental in Manchester. Yeah. They were ace. Who else?
Class.
Little Comets, was it?
Yeah.
Who was that other one where it was me, you?
Night Riots.
That was it, yeah. But just before the Hunter, that was it, yeah. Before the Hunter.
The Hunter were fucking class.
Yeah, just before the Hunter, with your Jack, we went. We found out about Night Riot, who are a Canadian band that are really good, and then Ocean Coasts. That's it.
Yeah, Coasts.
They performed. They were boss. That's like the first ever gig that I ever went. Yeah, that was just what I was about to say. They were like the first support act that I've ever watched where I was like, shit, these are like,
this is decent.
I'd watch a gig of these, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I think my first memory of that sort of feeling was when I went to see Imagine Dragons the first time, and Sunset Suns supported, and they've got some really good indie songs that like everyone knows but don't know. That, like,
yeah, I get you.
but like they were fucking boss. And I remember
like the
after,
ones
like,
that
all
appear
of
on
it.
FIFA and they don't know until.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Like Big Up Catfish in the bottom. And when I found out they had songs on there, I was like, oh my God.
And Grennan.
Yeah, exactly. That would be my dream, that, you know.
Yeah, get a song on FIFA.
Yeah. It's mad.
That would be my
You know, like a
dream
childhood game that you played and then like all of a sudden, shit, this is me in the loading
I've
menu.
got a lot of my music taste from FIFA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Nico and Vin's,
That's a
Am I
lot of
Wrong?
music.
That was on FIFA and stuff like that.
Mm.
I used to literally, before FIFA had come out, before the soundtrack was released, I used to go on YouTube and find like music predictions of what people think are going to be on it.
Right.
And I'd watch that whole video and literally just pause it, get a song added to my
Search.
playlist, and then listen to them all later on and remove them if I wanted to. And it was fucking, that's how I found a lot of my music, but
Yeah.
so much good shit.
All right, let's move on to sport then. I just thought about it now. I've not got any plan. I just thought, right, there's a lot of music. I'll come back round to it because, you know.
That's all right, don't worry.
But when I say sport, in terms of events, whatever, what's your like memory, obviously associated with me, should I say?
Probably footy mainly.
Yeah.
Like big games of footy.
Yeah, because I'm the footy guy. You obviously like football, but in terms of like sport to play, I've only ever played football. You know you
yeah,
a talented rugby player.
I always played rugby. But like probably swimming. But even like when we used to go like Heath Park and I'd bring like a rugby ball, you bring a footy, we'd knock about with both, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like good sporting memories we've got is just literally just going up goals and speak and playing five-a-side.
Oh
shit!
Like that. Yeah, I forgot about that. You've got a big group of family, haven't you?
I remember, yeah, my family used to all like play. We don't really so much anymore. Well, we can't anymore for lockdown and shit. But
yeah.
We used to like all go play like five-a-side, that sort of thing. And I remember Alex. We were short on a number one week. I said, Alex, like, are you free to come up for like a game of footy? And you were literally your answer to that question. If it's ever no, I've got to slap you on the side of the face because you're always free for a game of footy.
Yeah.
So like you come up, and I remember literally all of us were like pretty subpar / shit. And then I remember you come, and everyone was actually like, for fuck's sake.
They hate me.
No, but they loved you as well, the people you
No, I get what you mean. No, I get what you mean. No, it's just that's a big compliment, basically. And I don't want to sort of be like, oh, yeah, I'm sitting. What I'm trying to say is that all of yous were like playing every, like, you know, once a week. Whereas this was probably at the time where I was playing all the time still. You know what I mean? Like I remember my brother, I don't want to ever let him hear this. So if he's listening to the podcast, then I'll let him off. But he's insane at football, and it would be
unreal.
It would be unfair if he didn't make it, is what I'm trying to say, because he is just
he's fucking
unreal.
Brilliant. Which I can say is like unbiased, so he's fucking phenomenal. Like,
yeah, he always used to come and watch me play football, and he's always been gifted. But he started from a very young age, whereas I liked football, but probably started at like the age of 8 and was shit, and I had to learn to be good at football. If you know what I mean. I wasn't like.
He's always had that sort of like gift.
Yeah, like.
I'm gonna switch to my bedroom, mate, because it's getting a bit dark.
All right, mate.
1 second, I'm gonna turn that off. That's way too fucking bright. Yeah, like I've got an idea.
Ding. But yeah. Anyway, I got into football at the age of 8. I remember going to my first ever football training session, and everyone there was like okay at football, like they played for ages, and I turned up and I was that kid that everyone was like, "Who let this kid join?" Do you know what I mean? And it was at Castle Park in Frodsham, if you know what that is, like Squirrel Park, they call it. I don't know if you call it that, but it was at the top. Played for Frodsham.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, it blossomed from there. Stayed with them until the manager got a bit of a bell end, and then I took a bit of time out of football and then got back into it. Then I took some more time out because, first of all, it was through confidence. Like, I just went from 7-a-side to 11 and didn't know where to go for 11-a-side. And then the second time was just because of health stuff and whatever. But no, like, the original point I was trying to make is that was why I like me football, and I used to play it a lot and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Our Tom used to come and watch me, and he just used to terror like the lads from my football team on the sideline. Like when you were a sub, you used to just kick a ball around, didn't you? And our Tom would love playing with them. But then obviously you're the rugby guy. But you enjoy football. You can play football,
Yeah.
but obviously rugby is your sport.
I always loved like playing footy. I always like kind of enjoyed it, but it was always like I wasn't like all right at it. Like I didn't really know what was going on until like year 9. But like I remember like then like and then I started playing like school. I've seen fucking big Hugo Rodriguez,
Oh yeah,
big PE teacher, big Spanish handsome bastard who used to teach us
claimed
footy.
to play for Atletico,
Seville,
didn't he? Or
Seville,
Seville, yeah, something like that. Yeah. And then works in an English high school teaching PE
in Rugcombe.
Yeah.
My man bought me pizza once.
What he did?
Yeah, Mr. Rodriguez bought me pizza once.
Nice.
Ordered it and
he is
a
decent guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's boss bloke. I fucking loved him, me. But I remember we used to play footy with him, and he used to like. You probably remember this as well. He used to have like a few favourites in the class, so we'd always put them on a team and then join them on the team, and they just used to win all the time. And I luckily, because I like obviously loved sport, loved PE, and I was like, wasn't a fucking idiot, so like he kind of got on with me. I was always kind of like in his favour, which was good. So I was on the good team. But yeah, rugby wise, like I started playing when I was in like primary school, and I was always literally pretty much always shit at catching the ball, but I'd just like die for dog shit. I could tackle anything, like throw myself in front of everything, to the point where I got knocked out twice and had to wear a scrum out for the rest of my rugby playing career.
I've been knocked out once in football. That was scary.
Let's tell knockout stories. Go on.
Well, I remember, believe it or not, being on Frodsham, the Castle Hill Park, on the pitch at the top, and I went up for a header, and I didn't get knocked out this time, but I knocked the other kid out, and he went home in an ambulance, and it was the one time that my parents couldn't make it, so I got a lift to the football match, and then this was when I was probably about 10, 11, 12, something like that. Some other parent was like there with, I just remember the feeling of like, woolly gloves rubbing my head where I'd fucking smack somebody's head. And from then people were just like, bloody hell, this kid's got head like a breeze block in terms of it's fucking solid. But then the time I remember getting knocked out, well, I say I remember, I don't. I just remember the day. And I was playing against, Aero's team, Linnets, I think it was, and we played them. And I believe I went up for a header. Because you've probably, if you've visited the channel before, there's the constant recurring joke that I'm short, but I would not, I can jump and I wouldn't back down from any challenge or anything like that. So I just went up, and apparently I've clashed heads with somebody on their team. And then from my understanding, like I say, I've just heard from stories of people like Aero telling me what happened. And apparently I may or may not have been knocked out from the header. So I was already falling to the ground, knocked out. And then the person that I've headbutted kicked me in the head when I was down, because like out of anger, basically. And then all I remember is like sort of waking up on the pitch and walking over with like, like you manager sort of like arm around you. And then I just remember sitting on the sideline, effing and jeffing. Like one of the symptoms from like concussion is like aggression.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like that. And so, I ended up going home with a big headache. My dad took me home, and then my mum was like, nah, this isn't right, this. So then I got an ambulance to take me to the hospital just to get me checked over, basically. And then they were like, painkillers. They asked me, how long is your memory loss for? And I was like, well, I don't know, like 5 minutes. I can't remember. Like, that's the irony of it. I can't remember. And we were waiting for my dad to reply to say, like, how long was I actually unconscious for, or how long was the memory loss period for? And they said any longer than 10 minutes, and we'd put you on take you for a brain scan just to be sure of like brain damage. And then it turns out after it all, my dad eventually replies after I've said, 5 minutes, they've sent me away with some painkillers. Turns out I was like, for 15 minutes at least, just like out of it. So to this day, you never know. It would explain a lot.
I've got a little treat for you for my knockout story. Let me just find the bad boy.
Oh, there we go. You got to keep that for the rest of the podcast now.
So this is me, the second time I got knocked out. The first time was 2 weeks before this. I went to tackle. It was straight from kickoff. We kicked the ball to them. Their second row caught it, ran it towards me. I stood on the line, went to hit him, tackled him, got him down my head. But I hit my temple on the side of his hip, on his hip bone, and I was like straight out. I was only knocked out for about 30 seconds, but I had to obviously go off with concussion rules and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I had to go off the pitch. And then concussion rules state that you have to have a week off and then you go back. Now it's 2 weeks, so they fucking dropped the ball there. So I had to have a week off and then went back the week after. And this was the week after. I did exactly the same thing again, straight from kickoff. The second half kickoff, actually. We kicked to them. Their second row caught the ball. I stood on the line, tried to tackle him, hit him with my temple on his hip bone, got knocked out again, and was out for like 5 minutes. And they had to get they rang an ambulance because I was just like unresponsive.
Yeah, scary shit, innit? Well, it is for everyone else around at the time.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on, but there's dead me.
How old were you at this stage?
I was like 15 then.
Yeah. Well, even there, you look young. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Absolute youth.
Yeah. Mad.
My fun knockout stories then.
Aye.
Other than that, though, I didn't really get any other injuries from playing rugby.
You say that, lad. What have you had recently that's fucking minging?
When I joined like my new job, they had a rugby team going, so I joined it, and we played like local places around, and we played the Merseyside prison service, and I remember there was this big fella, and he bumped into me and got past me, and I was like, fuck this, I'm getting him. So I made like my mission to like basically twat him. Started chasing him, grabbed him by his shoulders, pulled him down. As I pulled him down, so like, my ankle was like that. It just fucking snapped, and he shattered my ankle. And
because he landed on you.
Yeah, he landed like fully, like his whole body weight landed on like my foot and like completely just twisted it.
Nice.
Like I heard the crunch and literally just went, that's me fucking leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how does something like that affect your confidence in terms of like, would you ever get back into it? Because I know you've done sports since, obviously.
Yeah.
But,
no, I definitely play again.
Yeah. Because something like that is, your ankle especially, it ends careers.
Ankles are grim because they're just like fucking straw. Like you hurt it once and it fucking creaks for the rest of your life, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's like now every time I stand up and walk around, it clicks and that sort of thing, and like it's annoying, but I'd definitely play again.
Yeah. I'd have to touch wood. That's the only the worst thing I've done is sprained an ankle. I've hurt my back. Like I think I've got muscle stuff wrong with my back. I remember playing once with a heat pack on my back, and this was when I was younger, and it was actually to the point where I was crying in pain because of it. And like people have sciatica and stuff like that. I don't know what it was, but I'm pretty sure I just had a pulled muscle or something. But it's never been it's never been great since. I don't know whether it's my walking style or you know what I mean. But yeah, I get a tight lower back basically. I used to run loads. Do you know what I mean? I was long distance runner back in the day, but I don't know. So I'd like to think it wasn't my running technique, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, you like to think you had that nailed down,
Yeah, exactly.
Smash
the bleep test.
I fucked my nose up. I don't know where along the line this happened. I think it was just loads of hits that made it happen, but I've got no cartilage in the front of my nose, so I can push it just completely down.
Yeah, mad.
Show you if you want.
I mean, I'm not bothered, but I'm pretty sure other people and I've said it want to see it. Oh shit, yeah. So it doesn't crumple down like mine does or up. It just goes in.
It just goes straight in.
That's ninging.
Little fucking piggy.
Little party trick. Nice. Now they're the sports that we've played. But then obviously we've had our fair share of watching.
Yeah.
A few sports and stuff. And then when we're talking about certain things that we were planning for the future, when we talk about maybe a review or a recap of the sport of the month, you've obviously said about it should be you doing the sports section because of the way that you watch sport or you just analyse it and stuff. But
one of the biggest thing that come to mind, and I said it then, was we were watching the boxing in the Royal, and Alex's illustrious boxing career will
Dave. I very much followed in the footsteps of Joe Weller.
No, you didn't win your first fight.
No, that's true. Well, you could say that. I don't know. I was going to say, oh yeah, me training I did, but I got twatted by Connor Wilson as well in training. So
yeah, you know some magic though. So
yeah, like I'd never boxed in my life. Wanted to do this charity match because it's always a sport I've enjoyed watching. I got into it quite late, so I'm not like about the history and stuff, but I like this sport as a discipline. And UFC since, but I just thought it's so out of my comfort. Like I hate, like especially this. You'll know me. I hate like certain levels of attention. I hate pictures. So this is a big like out of my comfort zone. But the thought of me actually getting in front of people, like I wasn't scared about getting hurt by someone on the other side. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like in that moment. So basically, go on.
I remember we had a conversation. It was literally like a few days before your actual fight, and you were saying like, I'm not scared about getting hit, but like I don't know how I'm going to feel about actually going send for someone, hitting someone.
Yeah, because I've only sparred. Do you know what I mean? I've never actually
never gone like full send for someone.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough, and also I'm not a violent person. That's why I think I like boxing in a way. Like it sounds like a bit of an oxymoron, but I mean because there's a discipline in boxing.
Yeah, it's like the right
being a referee and stuff like that, and it's a safer way than just like having a fucking brawl. Do you know what I mean? I'm a defensive person basically, so I'd never start anything, but I'd definitely like. And the first one, like even being the small ass that I am, do you know what I mean? You get in any trouble on a night out, fuck me,
100%.
Bang right there. But what was it? What were we saying? Yeah, I'm not an aggro person. But yeah, I like the idea of the sport and stuff. So I thought, I'm just gonna go try this charity boxing match. Raised a bit of money for cancer research. It was at ultra white collar boxing, and I did enjoy it.
It was in Warrington Wolf Stadium.
Yeah, it was a good experience. I'm not gonna lie. And the lad that I fought was sound. I mean, in the ring, the look on his face, he wanted to kill me, but like after it and that, he was sound. I mean, he made the mistake. I'm quite an empathetic person, and I'm not trying to make excuses for myself here. I definitely did just pull a Joe Weller. I'd done all the training, and then it got to the ring, and I was like, I'm defending and I'm dodging, and my footwork's good, but I'm just not doing anything back to him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was in a way, I was different from Joe Weller because I was actually like defending. I mean, this guy was fucking throwing. He was bigger than me. He was 10 kilos heavier, and quite, as is everybody, taller than me. But that's why they pinned us against each other. They tried to like match, abilities,
sort of thing.
Yeah, match the skill level and stuff like that. But no, it was a good experience regardless.
It was good to watch. Like you were not at all as bad as you are making out here. You from like a viewpoint, like a
the first round, I thought, you know what, this is sick. Because when I watch it back, I mean, I remember hitting him with one right hand that you could hear across the. My uncle was filming it, and he sent me the video after it. I can't watch after the first round. After that, I was like, oh no, this is making me sick. But you could hear the connection of like a right hand, and he was at like the bar quite far back. So I was like, you know what, this makes me feel sick watching this. But then, yeah.
Tell you what, we had a fucking great night out after that as well.
Yeah, definitely. No, it was a good night. It was great. That's what I mean. Like I came away from it, and I enjoyed my experience. I said I'd do it again, and I think I will eventually.
Yeah.
But it's one of them. It's one of them. The one thing that made me feel great about it is when I came away from it. The one thing I take from it, I've got to, because it was humiliating, is as I was going off the stage in front of all these people, I turned to you, didn't I, as soon as it ended, because it went the full length and whatever. The ref didn't have to call it or whatever, which is what I was glad about. Because considering how much that guy was like aggressively coming at me, I thought,
you didn't even drop a knee, like you're fucking staying on your feet.
Well, after it, as I was going out, the commentator or the referee actually was like a boxing. He has some form of experience in the sport, and he called me over and went, have you ever done this before? I was like, no, mate, clearly. As in, like, to say, you've just seen that. And he's like, no, man, I'm being serious. Your footwork's unreal. He said, keep at it. Like, I wouldn't say that to anyone. He said, just keep at it. And, like, it kind of stuck with me. Obviously, it would, wouldn't it? It was a massive compliment.
Yeah, definitely. So, it's a fucking huge compliment. I'm not going to lie, like, that's something that, like, some boxers now, it trips them up. The footwork's pardon the pun of tripping up, but like it fucks some fucking top level boxers up. So if you've got that shit down, like fucking now,
maybe the football helped with that. Always had like the balance.
Oh, definitely. I'm not gonna lie. Even if like you never play football, you'd have it because your natural sort of like thought process is like 100% into everything, like full heart into it and stuff like that. And like you put in the work so much for that shit. Like you got given like a training session to like go to, which was like once a week sort of thing. But you were doing like fucking 4 times that. You would
well, believe it or not, sort of thing. Yeah, I don't want to like like sort of be like, oh no, you're actually wrong there. But basically, with the way that I work, I do shifts, or you know what I mean. At that period of time, I did, so I couldn't guarantee what I was working. I asked if I could have, because they put on a training session for free, guarantee with the given that you could sell at least this many tickets for this event.
Yeah,
so that you could have this training for free for this period of time. And I think it was 8 weeks of training, 2 training sessions a week. I think I made a total of 4 out of the potential 16, just because I was working whenever. Like they were on a Tuesday night and a Thursday night at about 7. Now I was doing a lot of like the lates and stuff, and I just got really unlucky. So when you're saying that, in terms of you saw me, you know, training with Connor, who does sports kung fu, and then other people that do, you know, other martial arts disciplines, that was because I was worried that I wasn't getting the like, do you know what I mean? Like I had the fitness down and I was doing my fitness stuff, but in terms of the actual like striking and stuff, I just didn't have it. And I mean, it didn't help in a way, as much as I got used to being hit, and you'll see that because I came away from that sparring session with Connor. He was throwing kicks and stuff because of that was his sport. I came away with like bruising on the inside of my ear. I don't know if I had a bit of a black eye, but he caught me a few times and stuff like that. So like I wasn't like, it wasn't the fight or flight thing. He hit me and I was like, okay, I can take it. I got used to it.
I remember you saying that to me after, because I messaged you after it saying like, how'd it go with Connor? And you literally messaged me saying, well, like I've realised I can take a hit.
I went, he's kicked 10 bags of shite out of me.
Well, like you took it, one of them as well.
Yeah. My point
even
being
that whole experience of like going to watch you and stuff from like a spectator point of view of like coming to watch you and going there and seeing it and stuff like that, it was fucking boss.
Yeah. My point being is, if I'd recommend it to anyone, because it's the right kind of people that are doing it. I was really worried that you get all these egotistical like young men, and yeah, there's a couple of them in there, but then there's also just, you know, nice like people the age of my dad just doing it for the sake of like losing some weight and raising some money, and it is a good experience, even if you do, you know, there's probably better things you could do out there without having to get twatted, but no, it was a good experience. But back to the original point, you know, there's been some big fights that we've stood next to each other in the Royal and watched.
Yeah, in the Royal and watched. Yeah. The Royal, if you do not know, is a really classy establishment in Duncan, and it's fucking absolute prime time. Shithole. Bad shithole, but just like the same songs on every weekend, like "Shake That" by Eminem and Nate Dogg.
Where else is there to go? Basically, it's who you go with. It makes the night.
It's there. It's one of them. Like you have the game on. Your dad's just sent me a message.
What, sent you one?
Yeah, it's just an attachment.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
But he's not sent me one. Don't know what that is.
There you go.
Yeah. I have to get him on the podcast.
Oh, 100%. He'll love
Marcus. That. Yeah. I have mentioned it to him and I think he was down for it.
So I'm game. I look like I'm like by a fire or something. So the Royal, we were watching a boxing there. I remember we were watching it, and I think it was AJ versus Povetkin. Yeah, and literally, you were saying stuff next to me that like hadn't even happened yet, and like it happened. Literally, I like split second after you said it, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like that. I'm literally just watching it, going like, I was literally watching it with True Geordie's fucking commentary in me. Like he's threw a left hook and another left hook, and I left hook, and he threw a punch. That was literally all I was thinking. You know, I don't know the technical shit, but
no disrespect to True Geordie because we love him. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, love you, Brian.
Yeah.
He watches this and kicks off.
Geordie bastard. Yeah. Gets 4 million views.
Imagine.
Yeah, George has actually been inspired by you, and he's currently set up his phone on an ironing board. That is what he's propped it up on. I'm not gonna
lie. Like I use you all the time, Brian. Love you to bits.
Exactly.
But like, yeah, like you've always had that sort of ability to kind of look a bit deeper into sport and that sort of thing, and that's
I'm
always
just a bit
something
of
I've
a
like kind of
tryhard,
enjoyed.
basically. I think that's what it is. I've always been.
Love it
My
though.
mind never stops, and it's that joke of obviously like us. You know, when we've been doing podcasts and I say stupid shit because I'm thinking about other things, or I don't say my words properly because I'm overthinking, and then it comes out wrong. It's the same with sport. Like sport for me, like football for me. You know, when I went out with injury and health problems and stuff, it was a big kick to the teeth for me because that was my escape. Like football was the one thing. Like I could play football on a weekend, and it's the only thing I'd be thinking about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's the same with like when I'm watching boxing and stuff. It's I can get invested quite a bit.
It was good stuff.
Massive. I get like the adrenaline rush of if I was in it. Do you know what I mean? But
when the footy's back on, we'll have to go down the pub, watch a few games, stuff like that.
Definitely. I mean, when Jack's back from whatever, you know, he said we can borrow that Zoom H6 device.
So and I'll be going up there as well. So I'm moving next month. So like,
yeah,
I'll have a house.
Do you want to talk about that a bit more, or
can
don't want to disclose it in case something happens? You know what I mean?
Nah, fuck it, it's fine.
It's happening.
So our mate Jack, who was on the podcast last week,
about the face of mind and
stuff like that. So he's really like kind of influential to both of us. I think some of the stuff he's like gone through, and some of the stuff he's like doing now.
Still owes me really 50 quid though. From Leeds 2 years ago.
From Leeds 2 years ago, Jack, give him now.
I've never brought that back up. You know.
That's fucking brilliant.
This is my way of doing it. See if he watches.
When he gets absolutely fucking minted and successful, just be like, hey, the interest on that's mad. You know, you asked me about 5 million now.
Even if it's 1% a year, mate, I think I'd still make a few bob on him.
Easy. But like, so he is working at the minute. I won't disclose exactly what he's doing, but he's just living away from home, that sort of thing, and he's kind of opened it up to like me and also Alex.
He's basically he's living on site in a lovely converted barn. Is it rent free? Because he knows the people. Yeah.
So I've just handed my notice in at my work, so I'm going to be joining him out there, living with him, moving out home.
I've said, haven't I? If it was for me, I nearly bit his hand off as well, because even before all this lockdown stuff, when he said he was going to go out there to keep working, because otherwise he'd have been trapped in, because it's considered like a key worker job. I considered going with him, but then when I found out it was 7 till 6 Monday to Friday, and then 7 till 12 on a Saturday, if I was to do, like, I'm one of those, like, I'd like to think I like to be spontaneous in some ways, but I also like to think quite maturely about certain things. Like, I don't want to just jump in and then be fucked after lockdown. Like, I'm currently furloughed, so I'd have to quit my job that I'm at now, and then anyway, I've just got too many responsibilities at the moment, and because I want to make this YouTube thing work, I wouldn't have the time to do 7 till 6, have a social life. Do you know what I mean? I've got a girlfriend and things like that. And then obviously do the YouTube thing in between. It'd be a bit of a stretch. So otherwise, my point being is, I would love if me, you, and Jack were to be living together, working together, and all that. Oh, mate, be like a bloody frat house.
And like, I feel like it's coming at like the perfect time for me, because like I've recently just got to a point where it's like I need something different. Like I'm single now, that sort of thing. I've got like nothing really
no ties.
I've not really got anything keeping me here. So like moving out is like really kind of exciting. Just doing something different, new people, new fresh faces, new fucking places to explore, that sort of thing. That's the most appealing thing for me. Not even like the work side of things. Like,
it's mad for me, you know, because I'd have to jump on that what you're saying there. Like, there's nothing here for you. Rewind like 2 years for me, or 3 years now, I think, when it was university, and obviously I made the big decision to quit and stuff. It just wasn't right for me at the time, because I was like I'm scared of leaving what I know and stuff like that. And there was stuff going on elsewhere that made it, a tough time for me. But if I didn't have the responsibilities that I've got now, I'm not saying the university thing would have worked, but say if I was to go and live in a different city, I'm more mentally prepared for that now than I was, if you know what I mean. It was just like the right thing at the wrong time sort of scenario, should we say.
Yeah.
But
well, I think
I think you've hit that stage, is what I'm saying. Like you're in the time where
Yeah, it's literally
if you don't
both paths of
experiment
like
now,
can fucking cross perfectly. Of like
yeah,
I've got nothing holding me back, sort of thing. I've got no debts, that sort of thing. It's just
yeah,
getting out there, trying it. If it doesn't work, mum and dad have always said like I've always got a place here. So
yeah.
it's
Well,
like
I'm the same. Like my next step is
yeah,
I want to get my own place. Not for any other. No, I'm not desperate to leave home. You know what I mean? I've always got a place here, but
just that independence.
just yeah. Also, there's nothing more I'd love. Obviously, this is something I'm quite passionate about. I've wanted to do it for a while. If I could have like a spare room where I could have like the set, rather than worrying, excuse me, about setting up eventually, you know, a bit of a podcast set in the back room of the house.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, at my dad's and my stepmom's house, then you know, it's a big thing to me.
I get you. Yeah, it's a nice little thing to think about, and like I'm not gonna lie, that's the main draw for me. Like the moving outside of things, that bit more of independence, but also
Yeah,
just then
it's a big
new
lesson.
people.
Big
Yeah,
lesson that you need to
I
learn.
can't wait, and like it's just feels like the perfect time to do it. So why
Yeah,
not? So I'm hopefully looking out, moving out, like a middle ground late on next month.
yeah,
But like I can't wait till I'm all like set up, and then like you come visit and that sort of thing, and
yeah.
like
My point being is, even after all this, I might just say, look, I've got such and such in my holiday fund. After furloughs removed, nobody's going to be booking a holiday. So I might just be like, I'm just going to take a week off and I'm going to go and live with Jack and George for a bit. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, it'd be fucking easy. Like
Yeah. The thing for me at the moment, as depressing as it is the sort of, it's the YouTube stuff that I've got to keep grinding out. You know what I mean?
yeah. See, for me, like that's kind of comes hand in hand with it because obviously I don't have to do like the editing. I'm very much for everyone watching. I'm very much part-time bitch. Um, but like it's like you obviously have like you and Reese obviously do a lot like more than me sort of thing. I just turn up and fucking speak. But
Nah,
like
you're
I
more to it
mean,
than that. I can't remember when it was the first thing, but even before I met Reese, I've spoke to you about like, oh, how cool would it just to be like
yeah,
doing something like when
we've
you
said,
introduced me to like True
lad,
Geordie and shit.
yeah, when we went Newcastle, lad, one of the first things you said was, "Imagine if like we could like record all this and like stuff like that and whack it on YouTube."
Oh yeah, yeah,
Even and you, I remember your words exactly. You said if we could like record this and whack on YouTube, even if it's only us that like watches it, it'd be fucking class to keep like a diary of it that way.
yeah,
And like it's always been like the back of our minds, everything we've been doing, stuff like that, like leads as well, and like kind of ties everything up.
mm,
Like it does kind of tie up everything we've been talking about. It's like we've
yeah,
always kind of had that conversation of, "I'd be fucking boss if we can do this," and it's only like in the
yeah.
past few sort of like months / year ish that it's become like sort of a
We've sort of been ready and
why
like
aren't we?
mature enough to
Yeah,
be like,
yeah, yeah,
so what if somebody doesn't like it? Like I know we try and promote it as much as possible because we want to make it work. But
yeah,
like nobody's forcing it down your throat. So if you don't like it, then that's fair enough. I know there's strong
yeah.
language, there's certain jokes that people might not appreciate, but
That's it. Yeah.
that's just the wrong audience then, innit? Like
Yeah, like when I feel like the best way to
simple.
describe it is like if you enjoy it, then fair play. You're probably on the same sort of like wavelength of us,
Yeah.
like Reese included. If you don't, I feel like that's fine. That's no detriment to you or detriment to us. It's just that sort of like thing of not everyone gets everyone's humor. But I feel like we
Mm.
do it in a way that's like very like relatable. Like some
Yeah.
of the shit that Reese says and some of the stuff that you say is like it's so relatable for me, so I find it so easy to bounce off it straight away.
What was the original point? See, this is my point. I lose track
Yeah, we
all
both
the
do.
time. No,
Come off on
I was
that
going to say
tangent,
it's
but
the irony of being someone like me. I mean, it might not occur to it because, like, obviously, I'm sort of all over social media and the YouTube scene
yeah,
at the moment. And that sounds like I'm everywhere. You know what I mean? Um, but for someone like me who hates pictures, like, I hated it even more in the past, but I hate having my picture taken. I can't smile on command. You know what I mean? I'm
yeah.
constantly
It's
like,
always been a
yeah,
thing. Like,
and I find it easier when I'm on it with someone else. Like, you know what I mean? Like now, like I hate. I've got used to listening back to my own voice, obviously, because of the editing and stuff
yeah,
that I do. But before, oh mate, that was difficult in the beginning. I'm just saying it's ironic because it's like I like watching people have a good time with the content that I watch. Like
yeah.
TGF for me, like a big example and inspiration. Just the type of guys that they are, like the personalities rather than the content that they make.
I feel like the best thing about them, the biggest draw for me to them, is the fact that like they don't really apply to like a certain type of audience. They just do whatever they want to do, and the people that like it and proper love it, and it's like, boss.
Yeah.
Like I never would have thought like I'd love to sit there and watch someone fucking slide down a slip inside and cut the foot open. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but then when you're watching it, it's the way they are about it, how normal they are, how like you can tell they're normal because of how fucking weird they are.
Yeah.
And like, do you know how like naturally that comes?
Like
and
no
you don't
filter.
have to like. You can tell it's not scripted and stuff like that. It's boss. And I feel like that's what the main draw is for me.
I think it's the fact that, you know, the documentary they've done during in lockdown and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, I think that's proven it to me, like how all the mates have come together to make like this awesome, hilarious content, just this watchable stuff. And it's like, that's what I want. I want to be surrounded by like, because we've all got mates and we've got, you know, blah, 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 but like, and I know they'll have like best mates within that group, but do you know what I mean? They've just got such a tight net, sort of group of people basically that are all funny and
it's good that they all compliment each other.
Yeah. Right. Okay. That being said, who else would you say is your sort of inspiration, content creation wise, if you've got any more?
Stephen Tries.
Yeah. I was just going to say that's another story between us. How I remember John Tron and Stephen Tries one day when we were just.
John Tron is by far my favorite YouTuber ever.
Yeah. Well, I've never seen him before. I came around yours. I don't know whether it was it was an out of state. Well, yeah, exactly. And then you just had your Xbox or something set up downstairs, and you chucked it on, and we watched like 7 episodes of Stephen Tries and that flex tape John Tron video, and then from there the references have just been.
Yeah.
And I watch every Stephen Tries video now.
Same. It's like some of that Stephen Tries stuff is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's just the way he says things is so fucking brilliant.
Like it might be an unpopular opinion. I might throw me neck on the line here. Ricky Gervais is like one of my top comedians ever. I think we mentioned it before. But I likened some of the Stephen Tries, like the way, like the skits and the way he presents the comedy and stuff is very very Ricky Gervais-esque. Yeah.
Like very sort of blunt. It's not like indirect humor. It's so fucking direct that it's like so in your face, but also he's got that element. It's got that element. He packs so much into his videos that you could watch it 5 times and not notice every joke. Like, especially with Max and stuff like that. Like some of the shit they do is fucking hilarious. And like Max is so selfless as just a human being that he just lets Stephen get away with all sorts of shit for the pure element of comedy. Like. He's been fucking abused in some of them early videos.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And you know he's just sound with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's fucking class.
I'll take you Burger King after this episode, Max. Yeah.
That's it. I'll whack a foot in your head, kick you in the canal, and then we'll go fucking Mackey's.
Yeah, I'll get you a can of Foster's.
It's boss. But even like the characters like fucking Big Jake.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. They're just brilliant characters.
Big
and
Jake.
you can tell they're so like homegrown and stuff like that. They've literally just sat in a room. Like 4 of them, 5 of them, whatever, and literally just pissed themselves laughing to the point where they've made characters out of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's probably one of my biggest inspirations. But then on the other side of the coin, there's John Tron, who literally, he's fucking unbelievably funny, mate. Like that Flex Tape video is probably my most watched video. I watch it like most weeks, at least once a week.
Really?
Yeah,
because I know it's funny, and it's the one that, like, if I was to think of which one do I find funny from John Tron, don't get me wrong, I watch some of his other videos, and they're funny, and there are bits that are comedy gold, but that one is the one for me that is just all the way through. There is something that gets me.
Lad, honestly,
it's like watching.
It's his. Basically, if you've never seen him, watch him. But like, I'm pretty sure loads of people have. He's got like millions and millions of subscribers, but he'll watch something that someone's doing. And then the way he commentates on it, it's like he's having a conversation with them. So like this Flex Tape video, Phil Swift's like stabbing a bucket to prove that like his seal works. And he's stabbing it and he's like, Phil, do you want to calm down? It's not that serious.
Yeah.
And it's the way he's talking to him, and it's so fucking funny because it's just observational humor. And like anyone in a room would do the same sort of thing in their head. But like the fact he says it out loud and it's the stuff you'd think of, it's so funny. But he's recently done videos, not that recently, like a month ago. Gwyneth Paltrow, the actress, has got
Goop.
lad, it's the funniest thing ever. He goes, just that video goes, yeah, this luxury makeup brand, healthcare brand, she's called Goop.
Yeah.
It's the way he says it, but
Just
then
he says what we're all
through,
thinking. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, all the way through, he's taking the piss out
Takes
of
it
the
next
whole
level.
brand. It's boss. But yeah, they're probably my two biggest ones. Stephen Tries I watch all the time, and then obviously PewDiePie is going to be up there, but I feel like he's one for everyone. He's fucking just an absolute genius. But yeah, John Tron and Stephen Tries are my two. Like when I load up YouTube, they're my two go-to channels. See if they post anything new, sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, my sort of timeline for YouTube, my first memory of what I used to watch was, I don't want to be one of these, day one, because I don't know actually when I think about it. I just know it was early days, was PewDiePie, because he was the biggest on the scene at the time, doing stuff that I think I've said it in a previous episode. Probably other people doing similar stuff, but he's the one for me that sort of like was the pioneer in like the horror games back in the day. I just like watching horror games. I like watching other people get shit scared.
Yeah,
as much as I would if I was playing it. Yeah, there was him, and then from him he linked like his collabs and stuff.
Yeah,
I think was it Morfar? This is just another West one. I think he's another Swedish YouTuber that I would just watch for like a month period because he used to play Amnesia as well, which is the big. I mean, I went as far as to, as soon as I got my PC, like 5 years later after watching these videos, and I bought Amnesia, The Dark Descent on Steam, and I played it all the way through because I just loved that campaign as much.
Yeah.
That was a great game. Like, I still don't think there's a game as good as it, 100, like, for its type, basically, for its age.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Morfar. I think it means like Godfather or something in Swedish or Portuguese or something mad. Like, it was just a guy, another Swedish guy that was playing it. But then, like, I don't want to seem like a basic bitch because of the Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, blah, blah, but I watched a bit of Markiplier back in the day and I'm not a fan of it anymore. Like, I just sort of fell off it. But Jacksepticeye, I watched back in the day when he was playing, like, the game for me that got me into it was Turbo Dismount, because that was funny shit at the time. Yeah. Do you watch it? Yeah.
Yeah, I watched his series, but what got me onto that game was Nerd Cubed. Have you ever watched them?
No, but I know of him.
So he was one I used to always watch in high school. Like me and my friend at the time, Adam, always used to like talk about it and stuff like science, that sort of thing. But his videos were fucking like hilarious to the point it was just the wittiest humor ever. But then also on like the flip side of it, just the stupidest, silliest shit ever, and it was just so funny to watch. And that's probably my earliest memory of watching YouTube was Nerd Cube.
Yeah. Now you've said that, I forgot about Ray William Johnson with Equals 3. I watched a bit of him back in the day. He was like the G back in the day, wasn't he? But yeah, I've always been like gaming. Like, was the one like when I was younger, I only watched gaming. Like, if it was a Q&A video, I wouldn't be too interested and stuff like that. Yeah. Or like these YouTubers that do like the cooking challenges and stuff. Even though like I might like him, you know it. Well, anyway, so yeah, there was Jacksepticeye. Then I stopped watching him for a bit. And then now, I'm not gonna lie, I look forward every day to the Jacksepticeye video. Like,
yeah, I've not watched him in a while. But
nowadays, mate, I think it's mainly because I like he's just a decent human being at the end of the day.
Yeah,
but
fucking boss.
He's doing like scary games again, like, and he's been doing it loads since being in lockdown. So yeah, that's him. Still watch PewDiePie to this day. Went through a period when I was a bit younger, like maybe about 16, where I was gutted because he stopped playing the video games and he was doing all this mad stuff. And I think even he didn't know like what his content was at the time. Like, he was just doing it because it was his job almost. Don't want to like discredit him or anything. but
yeah, you can tell the point where he kind of transitioned now, and now like the videos PewDiePie's posting now, like the Reddit videos like that.
Yeah,
they're so fucking funny to watch.
Like, he doesn't even try that hard, and it works now.
It's because he's got to a level now where the audience supplies him with his content.
Yeah.
But then like Reddit videos, stuff like that, all you have to do is look down, react to them. He's got so many catchphrases and stuff like the fucking big PP, that sort of thing. You can just literally go to it at the drop of a hat, and like he could say something in one video. Like, literally, that's what I was just about to say. Now, he could say something in one video that's like a throwaway comment, and then laugh about it a tiny bit to himself. I literally just say a floor gang and then go and laugh about it. And then
people jump on it.
Next week there's about 10,000 posts on his Reddit just saying
Fan
floor
out.
gang, like fan out of him on the floor and that.
Yeah, I get you. But then, yeah, like coming through the ranks, there's the TGF, obviously. There's Stephen Tries. There's the True Geordie podcast. And then in the last year, I'd have to say Logan Paul, as much as that might be controversial.
Yeah, content's just so easy to watch recently.
Daz Black, actually. I've got to shout him out. I look forward to his...
Black's class.
Yeah, always enthusiastic. He came from Vine.
Yeah, he did. Joey's really good as well.
Go on.
Jack, mate.
Oh, is he the one that just slates everyone? He's friends with the Sidemen. Oh, that's another one, actually, the Sidemen. I've started watching them.
Sidemen Sundays are brilliant.
They've upped their game, yeah, massively. I don't watch necessarily... I used to watch the GTA videos.
I never used to watch them. I used to watch JJ's videos, stuff like that. I used to watch Road to Shows, like FIFA Pack, stuff like that. Never used to watch any of the others until more recently when they've been doing the Sidemen Sundays, that sort of thing. And like, I'm not gonna lie, it's after I started watching them mainly after all the diss track shit.
Yeah, I think that was the exposure for me. I didn't even know. I thought that the JJ Ethan thing was real because I never watched him. But then the diss track. I mean, I think Simon I watched for the GTA racing videos. Yeah. Vic I watched for the PUBG and now the Warzone because he's goated on the bloody keyboard on that game. Josh I used to watch for the more like escape room games, like he's doing drug dealer simulator at the moment, which is a banger. And then what was the other one I was going to say? But yeah, now the Simon Sundays, like I say, like I never watched them. Then the exposure from like the diss tracks and stuff, went back and watched them.
Brilliant.
I don't watch their individual channels as much anymore, other than like I say, like the certain series, like the drug dealer simulator one that I'm saying, and then obviously Vic on a few Warzone games because he's sick at it. But yeah, Simon Sundays, they've upped the level.
Like I literally just used to watch KSI and Road to Show. That was literally it. And then after like the diss track stuff, you saw the transition from them on their individual channels trying to appeal to like a younger audience to then the Sidemen stuff now, like the jokes they make about like fucking like Harry doing drugs and like that sort of thing, like how it's always like reference that sort of thing, like Ethan's dad not being around, that sort of thing. It's like them sort of jokes. It's so fucking funny now looking back because I remember them when they were like younger and like appealing to a younger audience stuff like that. They never would have dreamed of doing that, and then now it's like you kind of see them more as like real people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's really good. Like
it's mad because like it's more apparent these days, but it wasn't as common for that many people to be creating content together, like repeatedly
as a big group.
On the platform. So I think that's why it works because everyone knows the personalities is what I'm saying. So like when they do the videos together, it just works.
You feel like you're there with them, and like you feel like you're included. Boss.
Well, that's why I thought that this is one of the main reasons why I thought this would, like, you know, when people say why this would work, because once people get invested, I don't care what, like, who you are, whatever, as long as you know you've got a good sense of humor and a decent personality, I do believe that you could just sit on a couch, talk for hours amongst a few group of people, and it will resonate with some other people somewhere eventually.
And Chatship.
Yeah, exactly. Why did we start Chatship? Because chatting shit is all I'm good at, basically.
Literally, all we realised we were doing was literally chatting shit to the point where it got to a deep conversation, which you're probably fucking seeing in this video. So it got to the point where it was like, you know what, like, this is what we're fucking good at. Like, I like this. And it kind of got to the point where I think it was you said, like, I wish we could go back and listen to some of the conversations we've had.
Yeah. I've said to you, like, in the future with the things we've got planned, like, if we could, again, the irony of me hating being recorded and watching back myself, but just the thought of, like,
reacting to all the shit.
Even for, like, an archive for just us to enjoy, putting a camera on in the background when, like, we're around and together at some point when we're doing, like, the editing, like, you know, like you said, when I maybe show you a bit of, like, what the behind-the-scenes stuff's like and when we can actually get together and stuff, or even just, like, we got the Run Out of Run series that just came about because, like, regardless of, like, making content, I don't speak to George just because I've got to make content. We were just like, you know what, we'll just have a few drinks, jump on a Zoom call, and have a laugh. And then it came into this like, you know what? Why don't we just record it, have a few
Like,
drinks, and then
what
see
happens,
if we can make a bit more of a series out of it in the future, where it might not just be a podcast. It might be,
it literally started as like
fucking darts, pub games. You know what I mean? At home, just together, that stuff.
It literally did start of like I was on a Zoom call with the lads from work and stuff the day before, and I got absolutely rinsed and started chatting shit with Dave from work. And I remember then, like I said to you, do you fancy doing like a Zoom call tomorrow night where we have a few drinks, stuff like that? And you're like, yeah, defo. And then we were like, why don't we record it? And then Reece was like, I'm in. And it was like, fucking, let's fucking do this. This will be a lot.
I don't think it's been disclaimed yet. Right. We found out that Reece didn't know himself, so it must have been a placebo effect, that the alcohol he was drinking, the Copperbergs that he was drinking, that his mum had bought that day or something when they went out, the only ones they could find were alcohol free, and he didn't realise until after the podcast. So he was there giving it the big one, saying like, oh, I've had 4 Copperbergs, blah blah blah, you know, the big bottles, and turns out he was just drinking cordial.
I'm literally there, fucking 16 fucking bottles of Bud deep, absolutely chatting me fucking arm off and that.
Yeah, we've still got another episode of that, you know, like left in the footage. Like I've got a part 3. Yeah, I was listening to it the other day. It's funny. Nice. You've said that's something though you've got to sort of listen to all the way through a field to sort of like carry on.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. One thing I will say is, I mean, this one, if I do decide to use the visual, now I've got a shitty webcam that eventually arrived.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's hard getting equipment in lockdown. I ordered that like a month ago, maybe more. Is the fact that like we do realize it's difficult for people at the moment to watch, especially the podcast basically, when it's only like just a blank screen or just the logo and stuff, because it's audio only essentially, and YouTube requires you to keep open your phone, say if you're watching it on your phone for, you know, the whole time that you're watching it. Now, our podcast being the longer ones, people are finding it harder to, I mean, first of all, just keep engaged with what we're talking about, but second of all,
people got lives that they're doing things.
They might not have half an hour just solid sit down, but then do they want to sit there and just not look at anything other than a blank screen, or you know what I mean, or they get a text message and then they press on that and then they've gone off the video, you know what I mean? So we're hoping to bring video as soon as we can. Hopefully this will be like the
big trial period.
The trial one. I think it's worth looking into making like audio only ones so that people may be able to, like, you know, stick us on in the background while they're making tea, you know, on a I don't know, Spotify or whatever. I need to look into it.
People on like the bus and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
and defo. Good idea.
The plan is to, once we get the set where we can be together, I mean, it's shown in a way that, say for instance, there's a period of time where we can't get us all free because we've got our own lives, you know what I mean? There's 3 people in this that have got to sort of arrange,
come together sort of thing.
In person. So it's good that we know we can do this sort of thing if necessary, because other people are doing it, do you know what I mean? This is how they're doing their podcasts, like for the foreseeable future. But we want a set where we can sit together, you know, bounce off each other even more, so see each other, whatever, do different stuff. So
have wrestling matches,
that sort of thing, you know, Naked Tuesday and that.
Series idea.
So no, my point being is I appreciate anyone that does give it the time of day to listen to, you know.
Same. Very much. It's good stuff.
So also we've completely missed an opportunity to thank everyone for last week's podcast. That was a big one for us.
That was a really kind of like nice one to film sort of thing. So the fact that kind of it got more views than like the average one really kind of, I know we kind of like put it everywhere on social media and stuff like that, but it kind of really did mean a lot to us. Speaking for me personally, it was really nice to sort of like feel like not to try and get up my own arse, like our own arse or anything like that, but it kind of felt like it was nice to sort of get that out there and just be like, look, we did that. Like we actually talked about that openly, because I'm never been one of those people to like I wouldn't go out in the street and just be like, I've suffered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the fact that's basically the equivalent of what I'm doing on the air, but I'm not shouting. But like, it's nice to know that that's like out there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because it's like we want to. Again, it sounds like we're up our own arse because it's 66 subscribers deep at this point, and not every subscriber watches the video, or you know what I mean. They might, whatever. But the fact that we're utilizing the platform to do something like that, at least just once in a while,
Nice.
yeah, it was nice to do because I mean, I know all three of us are quite passionate about the thing, regardless of me being good friends and you being good friends with Jack prior to it. So it was
all
just
three
good.
of us, we're kind of fully on board with what he was doing as well, which was really nice. And and just giving him that sort of, I know he's got like a pretty big platform as well, but giving him like a platform to like where it's not limited to like an Instagram video or anything like that. He can just speak. He's the heart, and like Cam, like before that we'd never met him and stuff like that, and he was. I know that as soon as the recording finished, we said like he's fucking brilliant and like such a genuine person.
I already like Cam.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. After 2 minutes, well, it was about an hour, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. It was a really nice one for all of us, obviously. Like, but it just felt good when we finished.
Like you say, although we did promote it a bit more because it's more special than maybe just any other old video. The fact that it did actually do particularly better than other videos did mean a lot, and I think it will age well because it's something that people can search.
It's a timeless topic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
And if anybody's listening and wants to know, obviously I took part in the Everest Challenge, which is what Walrus are doing to raise money for mental health charity. Thanks. But they're just giving pages and clothes just because the Everest Challenge is complete. Like that's their year target, £10,000. And the reason they've done it is because lockdown has cancelled so many of their events that would have made them the money to put towards the charity. So they just thought on the feet, quite literally, came up with the challenge. And I can vouch that this is how many days after? 3 days after. My calves are still fucking knackered, mate.
They're throbbing.
Yeah. Like I can walk and you know what I mean, but when I sit down for a while and then get back up, or I get back up in the morning, it's just that muscle ache. But because it's your legs, it's you can't really.
Like, honestly, mate, like I watched like the live stream you did, stuff like that. Like fucking so proud of you. It was fucking it was boss.
Cheers, man.
It was just class. Like you fucking kept going, stuff like that. And I watched Jack's as well, and like it was brilliant. And like it's nice to see something positive because everything in the news is shit. It's like it's nice to see.
Yeah. I almost feel bad for them because it could be considered, the timing was perfect or the timing was just off, because this week's actually Mental Health Awareness Week and we finished it on Monday. So, it would have been on people's mind a bit more, to
sort of like think about it, search it, that sort of thing. Yeah.
And I just like I say thank you to anyone who donated already. But my point being is, if you're listening to this and think, oh no, that's actually a really good thing, blah blah, go back and listen to what we said in the Mental Health Awareness podcast. But also the donation. Like full disclaimer, I've not donated yet, and I said I would after me challenge. I'm not gonna lie, I am going to, but I fucking died after that challenge. Like I just conked out in bed and went for a nap. I just had a banging headache, and it was one of those like migraines that I've got to nap this off. I can't, you know what I mean? I can't last.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Like everything that they're doing, it was really nice to like have a chat with them, and like it's really like proud of what you did and stuff like that with the challenge. And like
big up to the rest of the lads, like because like I say, I know I did it, but no, it was tough. And I still live at home. I'm pretty sure a lot of the lads that did it, they're at uni gaffs and stuff. Like, for instance, Jack's living in that place on his own. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I had my stepmom and my dad and my little sister sort of like, you all right? Do you need a drink or anything? Just doing the usual. And I was like, thank you so much. I mean, just little things like that. That's what I'm saying. It's even more commendable that they did it in the the environment that they did.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, again, for Jack, the fact that the next day he had to get up to work and I struggled to get up and go to the toilet in the morning because my legs were wrecked, no, if I don't have big calves after this, then I'll be shocked. Yeah, so it's a bit new in it, this format, but we thought we'd give it a go.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's been a lovely little chat.
Same. Been able to see each other.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can continue like the camera thing. I know the quality isn't great, but I'm pretty sure people would prefer to be able to
see something rather than nothing. Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it is this.
Fucking this little schnoz.
Behave. But yeah, that is. I'd say, even though it's been a fucking lengthy conversation, I think that's a brief insight into the world of like how George and Alex came about being friends, and where it led up to, and what we get up to, and
the mad shit we've done, and like the different experiences we've had, and like interests, that sort of thing, and like.
Other than the music, I think we just touched the surface with a lot of things. Like in terms of between the two of us, should we say? But yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, there's so much more.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate doing this because it's. I feel like I'm talking to no
job,
one.
a little bastard.
Yeah. But like, if you like the video, please let us know. I know it sounds stupid and whatever, but in the comments, it does mean a lot if we get someone that's actually watched the video for enjoying it. Just putting something down below, letting us know, like,
anything.
It's just something that you enjoy, because I'd rather make content for one person knowing that they're going to enjoy it than like 600 people that might watch the first 2 minutes and then be like, I'm fucked. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's it.
Yeah. So
anyway, guys, like, thank you very much for watching.
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
I've been Alex.
I've been George.
And this is 2/3 of the Chatship team.
2/3, one's down.
Like and subscribe if you've not already, please. We've got big plans.
We do.
Just saying. So thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you in the next episode.
I'll be the same.
Yeah.
Bye.